The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good evening. My name is Ron Juggett, or good morning, or good afternoon, because that's how I do these things. Welcome to the program for taping this 12th day of July 2025. I recently posted a photo on the Facebook Digital Dice group that showed that the Washington Nationals, in my 2012 Washington Nationals replay, were 17-3 for their opening 20. And I wanted to walk through some stats, show you how I have it set up, and just give you some general thoughts about the whole thing, as people are curious about these things, including one, I think his name is Gillies Thiebolt. Anyway, he claims to be from Pittsburgh and is interested in my side projects. So there was some interesting conversation when I posted that, and so I figured I would just show you what I've done and give you just some random thoughts. I think I already said that about that. So without any further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Oops, no, that's not the button. There we go. All right, first let's go through some rules. This is not an as-played replay. And for the first time, I think, in Stratomatic in a long time, I'm using some maximum rules, which we'll go through in a moment. I'm also using the super advanced stealing system, which, if you're not familiar, is you roll first to see if the runner gets the jump, and if he does, he gets the higher steal percentage, and if not, he gets the lower steal percentage, and then which you have the choice of whether you want to go. So it's not automatic. I don't know what the miscellaneous rules are. I don't use them. I don't use injuries. What I do is, in a game, if a batter or a pitcher is injured, rolls an injury, they will be replaced for that game only. Because on the ground ball A, since there are ground ball double plays on the pitcher's card, I do allow them. I use ballpark effects. Man, San Diego's got a big ballpark. I use weather effects. Man, San Diego's got a big ballpark. And I do use clutch hitting. Now, if you're not familiar with Stratomatic clutch hitting, if you with runners on second and or third, scoring position essentially, it does have the capability of turning hits into outs or outs into hits, depending on the card and the position. So with 0 or 1 out, if you roll a certain result, it may be an out. But if they're considered to be a clutch hitter, it would turn it into a single to bases. Vice versa, a base hit could be turned into an out. We're using the super advanced strategy charts, which is for bunting and all that. I do not use the closer rules even for 2012. I don't like the closer rules. It has to do with how many batters a pitcher could face before the fatigue kicks in. I go with the old reliever rules. I do use the super advanced fatigue rules. I do not use a pitch count because I'm trying to play as much of a cards and dice game as possible. So essentially what that means is, in Stratomatic, your pitcher gets a point of weakness assessment. Generally, in this era, 6 innings, I think, for most pitchers. And since it's a season after 2000, I recently just learned you can go as much as 2 more innings before they become technically fatigued. That's a whole nother rant that I might do at some point. Pre-2000, you get up to 3 innings. If you don't give up 4, I think it's like 3 or 4 base runners, a pitcher in Stratomatic becomes fatigued if they give up 5 runs in an inning or 5 runs in an inning. Anyway, not sure how that works. So let's say most pitchers, I think, for Washington are rated as a 6. So they can pitch 8 innings without any trouble as long as they don't give up X amount of base hit runners between their point of weakness inning, which is the start of that inning. So it would be the start of the 6th through the 8th, when they would be tired anyway. In the rules 2020, I wish you could mix and match some of these because I kind of like some of them. Shh, don't say that. Okay. Max rules. I'm rolling all these games by hand, by the way, using ball rollers. So the computer, with the exception of the hidden wild pitch, bulk, and pass ball rolls, um, and it also is rolling for the jump. I'm rolling everything else. So I'm doing bunt for base hit. Let's not do it. I guess so far I've done improve out distribution. Not sure if that's made any sense or not. Improve base running realism. Let's uncheck those. Don't do home field advantage. I don't do starting pitching clutch. I don't know what that is. More base running decisions. Yes, that's kind of the Dave Gardner rule for me. You'll see when I show you Washington stats. That just you can try to stretch out an extra base runner, another base here nor there, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it gives you more to do. And in that situation, when it does give you the option, you roll a 20-sided die and go from there. I don't have doubles and triples options checked. I don't have forced daily injuries. Realistic throwing errors is checked. We don't pitch around. I like the robbing the home run rule. So the robbing the home run rule is, let's say you have a home run on a 1 to 10 and you roll an 11 or you roll a 10, you'll have to do another roll of a 20-sided die depending on how good the fielder is to see if they were able to make a leaping home run catch. We don't have correct board game excesses on because I'm playing this as pretty much cards and dice. I do allow errors on bunts and on pickoffs, although I haven't seen any of those. We don't prorate injuries. Limit all. I should check that. Actually, there's no injuries. When I play, I do limit the injury to that game only. I started the year with defensive shifts, but again, it's not all shown on the card, so I got chucked. Catcher blocking the plate. Yep, I like collisions. Extreme batter pitcher matchups not checked. The rest of them are not checked. So you can do all of them. And again, it's more to normalize it because Stratomatic and its hard as a pure 50-50 game. 50% of the results should be coming off the batter's cards, the other 50% off the pitcher's cards, and some things it's just not going to get, extreme control pitchers, extreme home run hitters. It's just not going to get right. So those are the rules that I've been using. Anything else I want to show you here? No, I think we're good. All right, so now let's show you the Washington Nationals because that's what I'm here for. Now, I'm doing it as carded replay. So these 30 players, if you bought the cards from Stratomatic without the extras, that's what you got. You can only have 25 available at any one given time, and I can go back and choose to do that. At the moment, there's only 17 batters. I have 14 checked and 3 catchers. Wilson Ramos, Kurt Suzuki, and Jesus Flores. Flores, I think, caught the most games since Suzuki came over later in the year. So Ramos hasn't come over. So I have 3 extra batters and 2 extra pitchers. Possibly. And right now that would be, well, we don't need to go into that. No. So here's how we've done it. 17-3, we've only played 1 homestand. And 10-1 at home. 7-2 on the road. And those 2 losses came at Citi Field against the Mets. Ricky Keeler will be happy about that. We'll show you all that. 5-0 against lefties and 12-3 against righties. The other loss was to Houston, which is still a National League team, at home. 2-1 in extra inning games, 4-1 the record in 1-run games, which I feel personally is a better judge of how good or bad of a manager you are. If you can win close games, you're going to go far. In the last 10, they've won 9 of 10. We've left 154 runners on base in 20 games. How Boston Red Sox of me is that? No one's turned a triple play. They score runs, 107 runs in 20 games, and only allowed 59. Hit 28 home runs. We have scored more than 5 runs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 of those 20 games. This team can score. And we have 4 shutouts on the year already. In fact, in 14 of those 20 games, we've allowed less than 3. Haven't played it in interleague yet. So, we've beaten the Marlins 3 times. The Mets, again, beat us in the only series. That was up in New York. They took 2 out of 3 of the opening weekend of the year. We swept the Cubs. I believe we started the season against the Cubs. We swept the Reds at home. We started the home season against them and took 3 out of 4 against Houston. And the other home series was that sweep of Miami. And the last but not least, we just swept the Padres on the road. So that's a pretty good start. 10-1 against the Central in a year that the Reds were a 90-some-odd win team. The Cubs and Astros weren't that great. Mets were pretty decent. So we really haven't been, we've been world beaters, but not necessarily against great teams as of yet. And in the East, we play everybody 18 times, and I believe it's 12? No. Some of it's 6. I get confused. It's 18 against everyone in the East, and we've played 6 of those 72 games. Primary numbers. Now, as a team, we're hitting 282. Adam LaRoche is a stud. An absolute stud. Don't ask him to steal a base. He got picked off once. He's matched 7 homers in 19 games and driven home 20 runs. Middle of that lineup. Now, the computer chooses the lineup, and I kind of mix and match for taste there. Everybody but Ramos has gotten at bat. But Wilson isn't on my active roster. We've had 6 triples. 3 of them by the rookie Bryce Harper. Harper has come on as of late. He started off slow, but has hit better as of late. LaRoche hitting 346. Jason Worth, limited by at-bats. He only has 300 that he's carded for. And while I don't look at usage numbers exactly, it is kind of an interesting mix to try to get it right. So there's a little bit of flexibility there, but not too much. And you want to get everybody in. And Ian Desmond, I believe, wow, he only has 4 RBI. I didn't realize that. 6 doubles. Great defensive shortstop. Danny Espinoza. Now, there is an enigma for you because he strikes out a metric ton. In fact, he struck out 24 times in 20 games. He's got strikeouts all over his card. But yet, he's hitting 254. He's hit 3 homers. He's hit 6 doubles. He's stolen 2 bases. He's even had 2 sacrifice bunts because I will bunt with him. So the hitters are doing pretty gosh darn good. This team is not going to hit 282 for the year. Pitching. Why this team is 17-3, this is especially the starters. Gio Gonzalez in 5 starts has an earned run average of .47. Doesn't have a complete game. He's thrown 38 2/3 innings, struck out 42. I forget who else had this. Gio must have pitched in a shutout, and I forgot the other. Did tempt the point of weakness gods and got a complete game shutout from Ross Detweiler. It was a 1.19 ERA. And Steven Strasburg, I got to sneeze, with a 1.50 ERA and a 3-0 record. So I'm not going to monitor Strasburg's innings. That particular year, they won the division, and Strasburg couldn't pitch in the playoffs. Strasburg's pitching wherever I need him to pitch. So we're at 5th time through the lineup. Jordan Zimmerman's pretty good, too. He's the worst of the... He should be a little bit better ERA-wise, but look at, he's thrown 31 2/3, 26 hits, struck out 23. Edwin Jackson and Detweiler are back in the rotation starters. Jackson, I'm not concerned about that 4 ERA. He's given me 6 innings per start. You get 6 innings from everybody in a start, you are going to win a lot of ball games. I think Detweiler is a 5 point of weakness. So, bullpen. Someone asked about whether the bullpen will implode. And the answer is it really shouldn't, because Tyler Clippard and Cliff Stamen Clippard was their closer. He's in real life. He saved 30 some odd games, but his ERA was a full run higher than Stamen or however you pronounce it. So, although technically I would have told the press that it's a bullpen by committee, I'm going by whoever has the better usage numbers on a given night. And Stamen would be my preference if we get to the playoffs. That card is just a little bit better. And we'll see. The other save went to Sean Burnett because it was the 12th inning of a game. And yeah, we don't talk about those sort of things. So Drew Storen hasn't pitched in a lot of high leverage situations. Mathis is 2-0. I think I've had to use him, and I save him for games that are kind of out of hand. And Burnett, we haven't pitched John Lennon yet. Everyone else has gone at least once. Gorzalani is like a rubber arm. He can give you a couple innings, and Marwin Gonzalez pretty much one inning at a time. So this bullpen isn't terrible, although when you see the stats later on as a unit, they're not great. But I don't think they're. It's not like the team I covered in 17, where you pretty much were drinking heavily every time the starter came out. Again, they are pitching way over their heads. An earned run average under 3, and 3 starters with an ERA under 2. That isn't happening all year. I mean, Strasburg, 24 innings, 11 hits, 3 walks, 14 base runners in 24 innings. That's remarkable. Secondary stats tells you where they hit the home runs. Adam LaRoche loves the road. I did intentionally walk him once. Oh, Jason Worth. I hate intentional walks, but I'll do it every once in a while. Bunting. Espinosa, you see, is 2 for 2 for bunts. When you strike out that much, I take the chance of putting the ball in play, and so he can move a runner up. But even when the pitcher is hitting, they've only bunted 4 times in the first 20 games. No grand slams. Ryan Zimmerman, a 13-game hitting streak, and the pitchers are 7 for 12. Oh, pinch hitters, I'm sorry, 7 for 21. So we get it right. Taylor Moore, pretty good. He has 4 pinch hits. Watch out, Manny Mota. Now, pitching, games finished. Again, where is Clippard? Again, both of them have blown a save. We're 9 for 11 in save opportunities. Strasburg is hitting 500. He's got a home run. That card is powerful. I'm using the pitcher's hitting cards, not the generic pitching level cards here, and that makes a difference. There are injuries by the way, on those cards. But beyond, so the pitcher's hitting 204 with a home run. That's pretty good. Lefty righty, if you care about that, there's not much to comment on here. Miscellaneous sabermetric. As a team, they're getting on base 35% of the time. No wonder why you're winning so much. LaRoche at 404, Zimnow at 393. Lombardozzi draws a lot of walks. And his dad played for the Twins. Harper will come up, although he's slugging 500. And Baradina is pretty good. So the bench is pretty deep. You pretty much have 12 players to fill those 8 slots. And not necessarily want to play every day. LaRoche is my most productive, creates the most runs. Whatever that means, he's created 22 and a half. Espinosa, again, for the amount he strikes out, he's created almost 13 runs. And Zim, I love Zim. And Worth in limited action too, so lots of productivity. Total average, I forgot what that is. Oh, it's OPS plus. No, that's not OPS plus. Who's my most productive player? Worth? Really? Isolated power. So when they 200 as a team, so when the ball leaves their bat, it goes far. And LaRoche has an isolated power of 358. Also, 57 total bases in 20 games. That's just unsustainable. He's hitting a home run every 11.57 at bats and has one full WAR. As an offense, they have 6 full WAR in 20 games, whatever that means. I guess that means that if we just had replacement players, they would have lost 9 games instead of 3, so they'd be 11-9. Pitching again has been the thing here as a team. They're 207 against Detweiler 179, Gio 169, Gorzolani 095, even Edwin Jackson is at 245. Strasburg 134. Storen and Mathis will come back down to earth. Not everyone else will come, and Burnett. But as a team, 6.8 hits per 9. That's insane. In fact, Strasburg 4.1 hits per 9. Gio 5.4. Detweiler 5.6. I mean, we're talking Pedro Martinez 2000 numbers here. It won't stay, but you got to take what you got. Team throws a lot of strikes. 8.6 per 9. That's pretty good. It's also pretty good for modern and gives up less than a home run per game. Run support. Well, you're going to win a lot of games when you get 5.35. Although Gio's only gotten 3.2 a game. Everyone else, multiple runs. Here is a pretty good thing of how I do with the bullpen. Bullpen has come in so far with 23 runners on base. So obviously not starting in an inning or with nobody on base, which would be kind of strange to start with a new bullpen pitcher. 11 of those runners have been in scoring position, but only 8 have scored. In fact, Drew Storen, who has struggled, has come in with 6 runners on base, but only 1 has scored. Mathis has allowed 4 of his 5 runners to score. Clippard 2 of 6, and Stamen 0 of 3. So yeah, if you're 11, 8 of the 11 in scoring position have scored, but again, it's early, and half of those are Mathis. You take him out, it is 4 of 18. That's pretty good. Good control for every walk is 3.65 strikeouts, and the whip for the team is 102. Strasburg's is 058. Detweiler 075. Gio 080. Yeah, not sustaining that all year. In fact, Gio's got a WAR of 2.7. Strat fielding, which means all the X ratings there. Primary means where they were supposed to be playing all the time, and all means they could get moved around. Espinoza is a 1 at second. Desmond is a 1 at short, and 51. They are 43 of 51 with 6 errors. Not worried about Desmond's errors. We've had 96 X chances, and we've made 77 outs. 11 errors, and so 96 and 8 were range plays that went for hits. This team is solid defensively. I think LaRoche is a 1 at first, too. Suzuki pretty good behind the plate. He's not a 1. He's thrown, actually, I didn't realize this. He's thrown out all 3 base runners that have tried to steal off him. What I do for stealing is if I see that a runner on first and it's not 2 out or has a great chance to get thrown out if he doesn't get the jump, is over 65%, I try to get the jump. Doesn't mean he's going to steal, but if I don't do that, people with 1 or 2 steals over the course of the season will never get that attempt. Flores hasn't thrown out a runner. He is 0 for 4. So 7 attempted steals and 4 have been successful. We've had 6 wild pitches. And who had the balk? Marwin Gonzalez. We've only had 1 pass ball, and Flores, his error came because he threw it into center field. So defensively, this team is solid. Traditional. You can see how we've split things there. Danny Espinoza has played every game, and I think that's it. Everyone else has at least had 1 day off. And I've used 6 right fielders. Wow. In 20 games. The assists have come from left field. Morris, what a crazy guy he is, and an assist in Baradina. So you can see how I'm using the players there. Lombardozzi should spell Espinoza at some point. This is better than the. So this shows you where we are. Again, we started in Chicago at Wrigley and swept. Lost 2-3 up in New York, including a 2-1 heartbreaker in 12 that Storen lost. And then R.A. Dickey just pounded Jordan Zimmerman 7-1. And we were tied for first at 4-2. And I was pretty happy with that road trip. And then they caught fire. They swept Cincinnati 3-2, 6-4. Strasburg 10-0 over Bronson Arroyo. A two-hitter. He went the distance. And then Jordan Zimmerman beat Johnny Cueto on the 15th. Then that streak went to 6. Gio beat Lucas Harrell, I think. Clippard got the save to go 9-2. A crazy 11-inning game that they won 8-7. Then Jordan Lyles beat Edwin Jackson 5-0. I mean, just tip your hat at that point. And then they closed out the Houston series with a 9-1 pounding of Dallas Keuchel. And then they swept Miami 5-2, 3-0, and 5-0, back-to-back shutouts. In fact, the Marlins, over 27 innings, got 11 hits, which is what we had the last game. Then San Diego, 9-3 in the opener, a crazy 6-3 12-inning win, which I believe we blew in the ninth. That's how Burnett picked up the save. And then to close out the San Diego series, Gio Gonzalez with a win 3-1, and that's how we started the season 17-3. I have no illusions, by the way, that we're going to go 35-5, but it's a nice start. We'll go through the usage thing again. When you only have 30 carded players, it's kind of tough to make sure that we get everything right. I try not to go over 125% for anybody, but if it says I should, the computer will start other people, and I just kind of let that go. Pitching wise is tough. Personally, I think that it should go with number of starts instead of innings percentage pitched. Gio just pitched his last game, that's why he's there. Edwin Jackson's in pretty good shape. Strasburg will probably exceed. Zimmerman's already made his 5th start, so it would be who's Detweiler is due to go. Strasburg would be due to go. And so that's how that goes. But again, I'm not too concerned about usage. You only got 30%, or only have 30 players for the entire year. So it's just kind of a mix and a match. No one is going to be threatening for McGuire's 70 home runs. Not even LaRoche. Again, he's been fun. And last but not least, here is their comparison of actual numbers and replay numbers. Too early in the season to draw too much out of that, but you can kind of see where they should be carded. But again, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batters with over 100 strikeouts. Desmond, Zimmerman, Espinoza with his 189. Harper and LaRoche. LaRoche, I expect he's a big swinger. And no one walks 100 times. In fact, LaRoche leads the team in real life with 67 walks. We said Clippard had 32 saves in real life. Stamen only had 1. Stamen again, 234 real life ERA, Clippard at 3.72. And one of those things that you kind of have to do as a manager is go, I know that they went with Clippard in the role, but his ERA is close to 4. Do you really want to have someone in a winning situation that that card is there for 4? Your job is to win ball games. It's not necessarily to replicate the season. With a team like this, one should go with the other. So, we'll go with, again, for a while, we'll go with whoever has a lower usage percentage number when the time comes. They should be pretty even, though, I think, by the time that the year is over. And whoever, if they make the playoffs, has a better ERA, will be the postseason closer. And I think that's all I wanted to show you for the team. Don't want to go too much into this. Computer is playing everybody else. So just to show you some standings, Tampa, Baltimore, and New York in the American League East. In the AL Central, Chicago, just ahead of Detroit. In the West, wow, the two bottom, Oakland and Texas, won it in teams in real life. Seattle, but it's early. It's 2.5 games. Washington, a 4.5 game lead up on the Mets. We haven't played the Braves yet. 5.5. Phillies a 500 team, and Miami isn't very good. We've already taken 3. In the Central, Cincinnati, as we said, won 97 in real life, and we took 4 from them. We've yet to play St. Louis. We've yet to play Milwaukee. We've yet to play Atlanta. We've yet to play San Francisco and the Dodgers. So the better teams we haven't played yet. Giants a half game up on Colorado. Wild card, Tampa and Baltimore in the American League. Well, they're in first place. In the National League, Mets, Brewers, Braves. And you can kind of get a good split. Home teams have won 56%. That's a lot. But it's early. And there's no home field advantage. So I think that'll do it. Any questions? I will be happy to answer them. But that's how the Washington Nationals have started their season, 17-3. I'm Ron Chuck.